Good afternoon, guys. Marshall here, and we're here live for today's training. Today, we're going to talk about the 4 mistakes that liberate us from the discard cycle. Because yesterday we talked about the discard trauma, what it is, why it happens, that hidden relationship, the invisible relationship in the background going on between the consumer and the supplier, and why it's so devastating to us. Because when we are discarded, we lose contact with our value, our identity, and with connection. And these 3 essential things are what we need as human beings in order to thrive, in order to enjoy life, in order to actually experience happiness. And so when we're discarded, we lose access to all that because we made the consumer, the narcissist, the abuser, the other person, the supplier of that to us. We gave them that responsibility, and we looked to them to define who we are, to define our value, and to provide that connection to us, okay? And that's actually happening because of a concept called attachment. So this is actually a normal thing when we haven't had a proper maturity in our own attachment and identity. It's called individuation. We're going to do that. But today we need to talk about the 4 mistakes that we keep doing that put us in the situation and how they point us to the solution, to the way out of this nightmare, okay? So I want to encourage you guys to have a little courage here to say, yep, I am doing that thing. Look at your life, see what you're doing, see what's going on, and take a risk to acknowledge that, yep, that's me. I see myself doing that thing. Because the biggest enemy to your happiness, the biggest enemy to your confidence, and to a thriving relationship, thriving career, purpose, life, those kind of things, is denial, okay? And we are damn good at denial. I mean, hashtag denial, if that's something you deal with, it's something you see a lot. And that's a major component in the codependent fantasy that really drives us to be stuck in these experiences. All right, so let's start off with mistake number 1. It's choosing to be blind to the gift that you be, okay? We don't think we're valuable. That's only because we haven't been able to reference our value. We haven't been able to experience it and understand it. Instead, we thought value was found in somebody else's approval. So we are blind to our value, and we're choosing this. Now, we're not doing it consciously all the time. Most of the time, we're doing it unconsciously. Pretty much all 4 of these primary mistakes we do unconsciously. A couple of the ways we are blind, or we choose to be blind to our value, is by refusing to accept compliments, by not acknowledging our successes and our talents, our gifts, by not owning the outcomes we create for ourselves, by not standing proud, boasting a little. I call them tiny gloats. The things we do well, the accomplishments we create in our lives, the daring things we do, we're not owning any of that. And that's a choice. It's a choice to be blind to the gift that we be, to the gift that you be, guys. We're not here as burdens. We are actually gifts. Our needs are gifts. Our wants are gifts. Our existence is a gift. And when we start to respect that, we first want to acknowledge it and then respect it, we start to become aware of our value, our power in our value there. Okay, so that's mistake number 1 that we're doing that keeps us stuck in this discard cycle with this relationship with the narcissistic or abusive person. The second mistake we keep doing is we choose to be blind to our power in this. And this can rub a little bit. Certainly rubbed me when I was going through my own awakening in this and going, oh shit, I have to deal with that. We choose to be blind to our power. We play helpless. We play hopeless. We play ignorant. We don't know what to do. We don't know why this keeps happening. Why doesn't it change? Why do I even have this cycle in my life? Why do I keep picking people? Or why do people like this keep choosing me? That kind of thing. And that's because we're denying our own power, our own choice and action that lines us up with these people. We keep choosing them, frankly. We're the ones saying, yeah, I'm going to keep choosing this person that treats me so badly. I'm going to keep choosing the person that does this terrible thing or doesn't even acknowledge my existence, but he needs a chance. That can be really hard to swallow. I call this phase of ownership called swallowing glass. Not an easy experience by any means, because suddenly we're accountable to ourselves and we're like, yep, I'm this is me, I'm doing this. But once we're willing to accept that I'm making choices that perpetuate this problem, we now have power to make a different choice, guys. None of this is about shame. None of it's about judgment. There's a rightness in our choice here. I'll give you a little hint here. Rightness in this concept is, hey, I'm trying to get my need met, and this is the only way I know how right now. That's a completely legitimate reason to choose what you're choosing, because you don't have a different option. You don't know what else is possible yet. So there is no reason to shame ourselves in the choices we have made. What we do need to do is go, yeah, I made the choice, and it keeps producing this over here, and I don't like it. That's okay. That's an honest point of view. It's a compassionate point of view as well, because it's like, I think I can change this. I don't know how yet, but I'm willing to believe I can change this. I'm willing to believe that I can make this different. So I've got a couple questions here for you with both mistake one and mistake two. With mistake one, where are you denying the gift of being you in your life? Okay? Where are you denying the gift of you in your life and in others' lives? And then with being blind to our power, where are you believing you're powerless in your life? Where are you making choices that leave you powerless? Okay? So think about these, because these build on tomorrow's training, which is where I begin to show you the pathway out, the pathway back to happiness, back to your real self, back to your wholeness. Okay? Now, third mistake, we keep making ourselves wrong. Who I am is wrong. My needs are wrong. My wants are wrong. The way I did the thingy over there is wrong. My personality is wrong. My sense of humor is wrong. My likes are wrong. I don't, wrong, 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 wrong. I am wrong. We do this so that we can stop being different, because we've learned in this nightmare of trying to please people that difference leads to conflict. It leads to disappointment. It leads to rejection. Whereas difference in a healthy context is actually our ally. It helps us find people we fit with. It helps us connect with our happiness, connects with our purpose, connects with our brilliance. But because we're making all the things that make us brilliant and beautiful and lovable and powerful wrong, we are able, well, we don't know who we are at that point because we've shed all of that. And two, it allows us to shape ourselves in the weird ways that please other people. I call it shaping or discarding the self. We just contort ourselves into this place where it's like, oh yeah, I could be the thingy. Whatever you need me to be, I'll be. And we're secretly hoping when we do this that they will do the same for us. They will love us like we have been loving them. Because we have a lot of love to give. This is one of the brilliances, the beauties of us, guys, is that we have enormous hearts. We care deeply. We love deeply. It's a visceral, in-body experience that doesn't have words to it. But the problem is we haven't given ourselves that love, and we're giving it to people who use us as supply, right? So it's not reciprocated. We deserve reciprocation, but we also deserve to see ourselves in that same beautiful light, that we are good, we are worthy, we are absolutely worth knowing, loving, and keeping, okay? So I want you to think about this question. How often are you making yourself wrong for being you? Where are you making yourself wrong for being you? Think about these things, because they start to paint the path towards your happiness. Now, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It may not make a lot of sense, but when we get to tomorrow, Friday, you're going to go, Marshall's not entirely crazy about what he's talking about. Okay, so that's our third mistake. We make ourselves wrong for being who we are. Okay, now leads us to the fourth mistake, and this is very important. We do this all the time, and this is one of the big milestones when we overcome this. It's one of our biggest targets as we heal. When I work with clients one-on-one, or they're going through the codependency confidence system, this is a target we focus on. And it's called mistaking approval for love and value. Remember those three things that happen in the discard that we depend on the consumer for, the narcissist, the abuser, the other person for. We depend on our sense of value, our identity, and connection from them. And we get that kind of fulfillment when they give us approval. Their approval is like, oh yeah, this is, I call it the cocaine of the codependent, because it gives us an enormous amount of dopamine, of serotonin, of oxytocin. We feel love, we feel high on it, okay? And this, we get chemically hooked on this. This is where trauma bonding and love addiction come in, is we get this approval after there's a desert of seeking the approval, of craving it and chasing it. And then they give us approval and go, bam, we get really high, and then we get really low, because now what if it goes away? And this is called intermittent reinforcement, by the way, guys. This is when they love bomb you a little bit, and then dry spells of attention, and they start getting irritated and devaluing you, and then they discard you, and then they love bomb you again. This is why we get hooked on them. We're mistaking approval for love and value. Love and value does not rely on approval. It relies on respect. It relies on a consistent pattern of being received, seen, and heard, okay? Love is an embrace of how we are and who we are. Value is intrinsic to us. It's not something we will ever be able to derive out of something or someone else outside of us. It's already in us. Our job's to tune into it and listen and respect it. So when we stop confusing approval with love and value, we can discover love and value genuinely for ourselves, okay? So a couple of ways we need to think about value is that it's not something that's earned, it's something that is sensed or experienced within us. Value is sacred. Nobody, including ourselves, has the right to determine what that is, because you can't measure intrinsic value. And love is all about the action, not the words. The narcissistic people, the people who love bomb us, use words. We're very sensitive to words. A lot of us have the verbal affirmations love language, so we're very drawn into it. We're like mesmerized by the words because the words feed us. But the problem is we're not being fed with love, we're being fed with approval, which means we get hooked on whatever they want so we can get that hit again. So that's mistake number 4. So where in your world are you seeking approval where you actually need love? That's the question I want you to think about as you go about the rest of your day today and throughout tomorrow before we get to the next training. Okay, guys? So these are the 4 mistakes that get us trapped in a relationship with a toxic, narcissistic, incompatible, unavailable person. I mean, even people who are attracting emotionally unavailable people are doing these kinds of things all the time. So it's not just with abusive, toxic people, but it's just, hey, I keep having men or women show up that aren't available for me. Well, here you go. You need to look at these 4 mistakes. So those 4 mistakes, again, as a quick review, is you're choosing to be blind to the gift that you be, the gift of you, basically. You're choosing to be blind to your power. You're making yourself wrong. So you're making the mistake that you're wrong. You're like, I'm the problem in this, when you may not be, actually. And especially if it comes to wants, needs, and feelings, those are never a wrong thing, guys. Those are means to connection with other human beings. And then the 4th mistake is mistaking approval for love and value. So I want you to think about those questions I asked you. Where are you denying the gift that you be in your life? Where are you believing that you're powerless in your life? How often are you making yourself wrong for being you? And then I've got the other one right here. When and where are you confusing your value and love with approval? Okay, so think about those things. That's going to prep you for tomorrow's training where I start to show you how we heal this, how we move beyond this, and actually transition life out of a therapeutic loop, out of a self-help loop, into a happiness loop, a creation loop. into a loop of what I call brilliance, where you're creating things that you want in life rather than having to cope with or suffer with things that don't work and that are painful for you. Okay? I appreciate you guys showing up. Appreciate you being a part of our community. If you're here on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Guys, comment below. Let me know what you got out of this video, out of this training, and then I will see you guys tomorrow. You guys have a good night. Bye-bye.